Hi everyone, it's Galen again. Today I have an autumn card for you, and I am mixing watercolor with a little bit of colored pencil shading. I'm using the Unity Stamp Company kit called Faith Sees Beauty. It's the August 2018 kit of the month. And I'm using the Mini Misty to stamp on. I'm using a retired My Favorite Things die and foam tape, and I have archival ink in sepia color. I have Sakura Koi watercolors, sequins and twine, and a flat watercolor brush. I'm using Prismacolor colored pencils. Now I start with watercolor paper on the smooth side of the watercolor paper. I'm going to add purple tape, and Unity carries purple tape. I'm going to add watercolor to the inside part of this tape frame. It's going to leave a rough white border. It's not going to be perfect because watercolor is not perfect, and this purple tape is not waterproof either, so you're going to get a little bit of seepage, but with watercolor it works just fine. It looks just fine. You'll see at the end. I'm adding a little light yellow, and I like to tap the watercolor on first, and then I use some water to blend it out, still tapping. And then I add a rust color, and then I'm coming in with a lighter orange and tapping and adding that and letting it blend where the colors meet. If you have blots, you can use a paper towel to blot any of the excess water. And then removing the purple tape, you'll see that it's not perfect with the edges, but that's fine. I just wanted a rough white area on the edges just to have a look of a frame, but not being perfect. I heat set it on both sides of the watercolor paper, and I'm going to be using the Misty to stamp with. I like, again, to stamp on the smooth side of the watercolor paper. I use 2 passes with the ink, with Ranger Archival ink. It works well with watercolor projects. Now onto the acorns, I'm adding light watercolor, very light, and I'm going to come in later with pencils and do more shading. But I come in with more of the rust color, and then on the acorns I'll add brown, a very diluted brown, and you can almost see the background, and that's fine. So I heat set that as well on the front and the back. Then I'm going to use 3 colors of colored pencils. I'm going to start with the darkest shade, and I'm going to very lightly choose a side for shadows and shading, and I go in with the darker color, and then I come back and I add more of that rust look in the color pencil, and I hold a very sharp pencil sideways to get light blending. Now if I didn't have watercolor paper, and if I had regular cardstock, this would blend a little better with the pencils, but because it's watercolor paper, it has a texture to it, and the pencils don't blend as easily, so I'm using Gamsol fluid along with a number 2 blending stump, and I use a very little Gamsol fluid, and I gently blend out that shading that I added with the pencils. I do it with the top and the bottom parts of the acorn. And there you have it. I'm making a side fold card. I used foam tape. I hope you like this. Thanks for watching. Take a moment to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Have a great day.